All right, so let's do this expromptu session on LinkedIn, because as it turns out, as soon as you cancel a workshop, everyone wants to have that. We're like, no, we wanted that. So I have Sasha here with me, who will, I'll basically talk about the personal account, and then she will take over and talk about the company one, because you need to understand that they need to work together, because the company accounts are not promoted on LinkedIn at all. So you have to make sure that you're leading your followers from your personal account towards the company one, and then the content that you post on the company one, that you reshare it onto your personal one, because LinkedIn only wants you to you can pay for LinkedIn to promote the company one. They want you to buy ads so that you can promote the company account. So organically promoting a company account on LinkedIn is impossible. It just doesn't show up in the feed, no matter what you do. So it's always, if you want to do it for free without buying ads, it's always a good combination to build a personal one and then attach the business one to it. Well, I'm just going to share my account with you and basically walk you through it so you understand what's important. I'm not by all means saying that my account is something that you should copy, in a sense that's the best strategy. But I did grow it from zero. I didn't have a LinkedIn account 3.5 years ago at all. And now I have 3,500 people there. Okay, so it's exactly one person per day. All right. All right, share the screen. Tell me, why is my brain already not working properly? All right, not here. It's this button, a tab, feed LinkedIn. All right. Okay, I'm assuming you can all. Yeah, you have to mute your microphone as well, Mr. Legal Guy.
That's already done.
Yeah. So, all right, so this is my account. Let's probably start from the profile itself, right? So some of the most important things are in your profile, because that's the first thing that people are going to see to decide whether they want to follow you or not. And there are, of course, just like on any social media, there are basic things that you should be doing, like, for example, uploading a photo of yourself, and there are some that are very unique to LinkedIn. So yes, you have to upload a photo of yourself, and basically, due to the fact that during the pandemic, LinkedIn stopped being a strictly work-related platform and became a mix of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and a bit of LinkedIn, there's absolutely no rules as to what kind of photo you want to put up there. The only thing is that according to the regulations of LinkedIn, it has to be a real photo of you. So unlike on Twitter, where it's okay for you to put an avatar, LinkedIn doesn't like it. So if they find out that you're not using your real photo, they might ask you nicely to do it. If you don't do it again, they might actually block your account. So it has to be a real photo of you. That's basically the only condition. But don't try to make it too businessy, because, like I said, it's kind of changing. The platform is kind of changing towards being more casual. And then the banner. So that thing that you see on top of the photo is called a banner, and that is also a place for you to become creative and to express what it is that your account is going to be doing. So here you can put whatever it is that you want. Some people don't actually put anything, but I think it's a waste of space, because it allows you to advertise whatever it is that you're doing. For example, you can put your company's name and logo, and say that you are like the CEO, founder, whatever, or that you're promoting a certain thing, like, I don't know, female entrepreneurship or whatever, and it attracts attention. So if you come up with something that will pique the attention of people, then it's great, because they might be interested in that. So to create that banner, a tool that is best is Canva. And you have to actually play around with it, because it has to be a specific specific size, I don't think LinkedIn is actually saying what it is, but you have to test it on both desktop and mobile to make sure that whatever you put on that banner is not going to be covered by your photo and the text is still readable. So you probably will go through a few iterations to make sure that it looks good, both good on desktop and on the phone. So that's that's slightly annoying, but that needs to be done. Then the second part is where you put textual information about yourself, including your name. Here, once again, LinkedIn wants you to use your real name. Unlike on Twitter, where we can just, come up with a nickname. LinkedIn wants the real name, which is not to say that there aren't workarounds to put your nickname there if you want that, because there's a lot of people, especially in the creative industry, that just use the nickname. So there are a few tricks to do that, to trick LinkedIn. Let me see. Yeah, let's go to the edit section and I will show you where you put this. So basically I put my nickname here in the additional name, which means it's going to show up in brackets, but that's fine as long as, it's there. Then you can also, there's a trick, there's a field for custom pronouns. So if you want to use space to put something extra on top of your profile, you can, in the pronouns section, you can choose custom, and then you can basically write a few things here. So for me, it was important, for example, to put that I'm both in Malta and Netherlands as an entrepreneur, and I decided to use this space that is not specifically allocated for that, but yeah, whatever. It's a little hack that people are using. Then in the headline, you can write whatever it is that you think people will pay attention to attract attention. So basically, either the companies where you're working, or what it is that you're doing, or what it is that you're going to be writing on LinkedIn about. So, for example, for me, I decided to put the names of my companies and my education, and also a few things here to explain in a couple of phrases what it is that I'm talking about on my LinkedIn. So when people come, they know what to expect. Right, and then you also put your current position, so the company that you're working at, the industry, and then your education, your location as well. Unfortunately, in LinkedIn, you cannot not choose the location. So for someone like me who is both in the Netherlands and Malta, I only have to pick one. So that's the address as well. And yeah, obviously you can put a website link here, which I didn't do because I don't have my personal website set up yet.
Can you put your business website there?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But I'm not sure. I think I do have them. I have them somewhere. I don't know why it's not showing up. Maybe they changed something. But yeah, definitely try to fill in as many empty spots as possible. But I already have the name of my company here, which will lead to the business page. So ideally, yeah, it's fine. On LinkedIn, I might want people to go to my business page on LinkedIn and not necessarily onto the website first. So if you think of the journey that you want your followers to do, for me, it's first the business page of on the LinkedIn, and then from there, you get a link to the website. So basically, I want them to do two actions. Yeah. First, follow my page, and then visit the website. But that, of course, depends on you. Can someone let someone else in? Okay. Yeah, then what do we have here? Yeah, basically here it shows the amount of followers that you have. I can see this thing, but my followers will not. The followers will only see this, 500 plus. So as soon as you go beyond 500, that's what they will see. I don't know specifically why that number was chosen, but okay, never mind. Here you can add certain things that people can come to you with if they need help. So basically, it's called services provided. But I also think that it's also a bit of a way for you to advertise the skills that you have, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you are, you can be hired, but to do these things, but it shows that you at least know them. All right. Then we have the analytics page, which is, as it says here, is private to you. And LinkedIn is constantly redoing this. Some things are becoming better. Some things are becoming worse. So what you can see is, of course, what people saw your profile. Yeah, I see that Alex has been hanging out on my profile recently, which is good. Sarangi has been here because she, I think, befriended me recently. So you don't see a lot of things here for free. They want you to pay and get premium. But honestly, unless you're really into stalking every person that visits your profile, you don't really come to this section that often. So I'm not even sure that it's worth paying for that. But here you have a bit of the information. So to see what people from what entities came more often. So for example, I have 5 people from the European Commission coming up. So obviously they might be interested in what it is that we're doing for the startup game, I hope. Yay. All right, let's go back. So here, this is the new thing for LinkedIn. There they show you how you've been doing. I usually like to see this view because that made me laugh. So as you can see, it's quite at the same level, but there is like this one spike here and there is one spike here. And the reason why I said that LinkedIn is no longer a work-related platform, because if you know what those spikes are, you're gonna laugh. So the first spike is a photo of me with the Dutch royalty. And the second spike is me fighting with another woman on LinkedIn. So none of those are related to work directly, right? So that makes you understand that people on LinkedIn are the same as they are everywhere else on any other platform. They want drama, they want emotions, either positive or negative. So from that point of view, posting something slightly provocative, and I think I've been doing this a bit here. I've been posting stuff about female entrepreneurship and bias and all of these things. So the content that's quite provocative, and there were a lot of comments and discussions. So you can see that the engagement is increasing. So if you're doing just the regular, as I call them, boring posts, boring intellectual posts, people don't really care. They might tell you, hey, like this is not LinkedIn material, go to Facebook with that, but they really want to see this, which is what the analytics is showing. So the advice is always try to be provoking some emotions, positive or negative. It's up to you. Of course, we would love to promote positive emotions, but bear in mind that from the point of view of how our brain functions, negative emotions stick better. So yeah, that's up to you. If you want to do a holy war on LinkedIn, that's going to be great for the algorithm. So this is like no one knows how the algorithm works, right? Because this is still a secret. I'm hoping that soon EU is going to actually make it illegal for the companies like Facebook and LinkedIn to hide how the algorithm is working. But for now, it's basically up for figuring it out as you go. And here, analytics specifically shows what it is that that people like. Also, one thing that's very important that a lot of people don't know is the algorithm works in a way that if you put your post out there and within a certain amount of time, it's hard to say what time that is, but probably it's within 1 hour, not more than that. If your post doesn't get picked up by the algorithm, it will no longer be picked up and brought further, which means that it's very important to have engagement in this first hour. So if you're posting something important and you want the post to go further, so basically you want LinkedIn algorithm to show it to more people in your network, you need to ask, I don't know, either your friends or co-workers, whoever, to go on LinkedIn immediately and like the post, reshare the post, make some comments. And not the comments that are just one word, like great or fine. That doesn't work for LinkedIn. They want meaningful comments, which means probably at least a sentence. Yes, Kitty, I'm talking about LinkedIn and you don't like it. I get it. She's in the house officially. All right, so this is the page where you will be hanging out a lot, because you need to know how you're performing, right? So you can, like I said, this is the overview of the year, but you can, of course, do it. You can zoom in and see what you've been doing for the past week. And for me, it's pretty much standard, because all I'm doing is making like one post a day, not really putting a lot of effort into LinkedIn, at least at the moment, because we're busy with Pilot. So it performs pretty much, so every post, you can see it performs pretty much the same way, which is okay, predictable at least. And here you can see what kind of people are engaging. You can see the locations, for example. So of course, for me, it's mostly the Netherlands. Okay, there's Germany and there is India here. All right. I don't know if that is important for you to figure out the location. But yeah, and you can, of course, also not do impressions, but engagements. Engagements, of course, when people are communicating with your post. So likes, comments, reshares. So for example, here, the post was, engaged with for, what is it, for a day, for the whole day, right? So it means that people were interested in it. All right, what next? Come on, go back. Yeah, the last part of the analytics is here. You can see who was looking at you. Once again, it doesn't give you all the information, because for that you want to pay. But hey, surprise, surprise, someone from Canva has been looking at me, which is a good sign. It means that our strategy is working, because we are trying to promote Canva because we love it. So we would kind of like some sort of engagement from them, so that they can hopefully give paid accounts for free to the users, and maybe do some sort of campaign to support female entrepreneurship. So this is, for example, an interesting thing for me to see that that my posts are actually reaching them. So also nice to see that once in a while. All right, let's go further. What else we have here? Resources. Not sure that this is something that I actually used. I know that there are two modes that you can be on LinkedIn. So you can, I don't know what the name of the other one. So let's just say there's the regular mode, and then there's the creator mode. So I am in creator mode. What it basically means for me is one thing. I haven't noticed any other difference with the other mode, other than the fact that when people will see your profile, the follow button will be active for them, and the connect button will be hidden, so they will have to make a few clicks to actually connect to you. What follow means is that people follow you without your approval. They click on follow, and voila, they are in your network. But connect means that you actually get to approve that you become friends. And then you can, I'm not sure what the difference is between the levels of interaction. I don't know, maybe Sasha knows, but it's kind of easier if you have a lot of people engaging with your account and you don't want to approve each and single one of them. It's a lot easier to put the creator mode on, so they can just follow you without you being annoyed with, approving each account. If on the opposite, you want to approve each and every account, then turn the creator mode off. Then you will be able to admit or to accept or reject everyone. So that's totally up to you, how much time and effort you want to put into this. All right, then what else we have here? So here we have featured posts, which means that there are some posts that you can pin to the top of your profile. And when people come to your profile, these are the posts that they will see first. Well, as you can see, I kind of haven't updated mine because I still have the invitation to the pilot here. But let's see if we can. Yeah, so for example, I would like to remove this one from featured because it's no longer interesting. And you can basically take a look at what are the posts that you have there in featured, and you can play around with them. You can change them, of course, all the time to make sure that the first post that people who come to your page see is the one that you want them to see. because in LinkedIn it's very user unfriendly. The feed, the scrolling of all the posts, it's absolutely horrible. I don't know why they do it like that. So using the featured part is very important. So make sure that you put all the posts there that you want people to see and find, that you pin them. I'm not sure there is a limit to, probably there is, but as you can see, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, more than 10 of them here, and it's still fine. I sometimes just use it for myself, not to lose that post, because like I said, scrolling and looking for the post that you need on LinkedIn is horrible. But if, for example, I want to see how a post is performing for through the week or whatever, so I don't lose it, I will just pin it, and then I will be able to quickly find it. All right, so here we have the activity or what's happening in your profile. Let's look at all the activity, and basically you have all activity, you have articles, you have posts, and you have documents. I don't have any articles or any documents, so all I do here is posts. So if I click here, I will get exactly the same thing. And here you can look how each individual post is performing. So for example, you can take a look at the impressions, you can see analytics. We're gonna choose something else, for example. Let's see something with, one thing that you see now is if it's a post about business, right? So here, made this one about startup school. You will get a lot less people engaging with it than if it's a photo of people having fun or doing whatever. So once again, people on LinkedIn can say that it's all about business. It's not. People want to see other people. We look at analytics, we can also see, damn it, they changed something again. Well, you can see how this individual post is performing. You can see, basically not that much anymore. I don't know. I think they changed it again. Well, the most important part is, of course, to track these things, right? The impressions, and to compare which post is doing better, which post is doing worse. So you can do more posts that are doing better. And that eventually means that, just like me, you will probably end up making posts with either your face on them or someone else's face. Because c'est la vie, human nature, people like to see other people and not posts with either data or numbers or words on them. So yeah, this is me and Sasha here doing pretty well. And the bubble workshop, not so much anymore. Once again, me with Sasha in the pool doing pretty well. The old text, once again, not so much. So you see, I don't have to convince you, but usually this is the reality. The face will attract more attention. So try to figure out your strategy based on that. All right. Yeah, so this is your activity. Here, of course, you can write about yourself. And this is very important if you also want to automate your life. If someone wants to write something about you, or they need your info, you can just send them, hey, go to my LinkedIn and copy my about section. So you don't actually have to send it to them. So it's important that you keep it updated and kind of nicely written. I think there is a limit to that, and that's pretty much where I hit the limit. So this is the amount of text that you can put. And then the usual things, you put your experience, you put your education, you put any licenses and certificates if you have them, volunteering, you can do some skills, but these are only linked to LinkedIn tests. So only those that are available on LinkedIn. And of course, you can have people endorse you, which I don't think is extremely important on LinkedIn, because people do quid pro quo here. Hey, I'm going to endorse you. Can you please endorse me? And I don't participate in these things, because then the value of that endorsement is zero. But I do, like, I when people ask me for endorsement, that I do this, but not that often. You see, I only have 2 because, well, only 2 people asked me, and I was, of course, happy to do this because, yeah, if that helps people, I'm happy to do this. All right, languages, interests, that's it. So this is your profile. So make sure that it demonstrates who you are, what it is that you're going to be talking about on your profile, because that will eventually bring the people that you want to interact with your profile, right? All right, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting here? Well, I guess you know how to create posts on LinkedIn. Shall I also cover that? Is anyone still? Everyone sleeping? I don't see anyone. Not sure. Yeah, I think that's it about the profile itself. I guess I'm gonna stop sharing for now and just talk a bit about the strategy itself, and then Sasha can take over for the business part. So, like I said, so no one has any questions for now. Everything's clear. But okay, all right. So, like I said, I started growing it from 0. Now it's 3,500, and I kind of delete a lot of people at times. So I'm very like if someone starts making like trying to use my posts as a ground for advertising themselves, I delete those people, because my motto is, if you, without saying hello to me, come to my space and start promoting yourself or start trying to get value out of me, that's not going to work. I believe in, hey, you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. So that's what I always try to demonstrate to everyone, is I'm happy to help people on LinkedIn. I'm happy to promote them. I'm happy to do whatever it is, but I also expect that they are willing to do the same for me. It doesn't cost a lot of time for people to put a few likes and write a comment or do a share. Why? Because that's good for the algorithm. So they're helping me to promote my posts without much effort, which makes me more open to be willing to help them. That's how interactions work. So from that point of view, sending cold messages on LinkedIn, I guess, yeah, it's up to you if you want to do this. A lot of people are doing it, but I don't think that the percentage of people who are actually going to respond in a positive way is high. Most people will just ignore those cold messages, and yeah, so you will be wasting time. I would advise strongly to warm those people up first with this, these little things, right? So engage with their content first, bring a bit of value to them, and then ask them for stuff. The chances of you getting a good response from them increase just because, hey, they will think, hey, I saw her name somewhere. Oh yeah, that's the one that made a nice comment. They will not be able to probably say no to you as easily as they would have if you just send them a message, say, hey, I have that product, you want to buy it? And I'm getting a lot of those cold messages on both LinkedIn and email. So as of, I don't know, a year ago, I stopped reading them altogether. Because if I read all of them and if I responded to all of them, I would need it, this would be already a full-time job. So first I tried being nice and responding, no, thank you. At some point I gave up just because, yeah, I have to put my time into something else other than responding to those cold messages. Also, a thing about automation on LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't like any sorts of automation, and you have to be very careful. And when I'm talking about automation, I mean that there are these tools that will allow you to, for example, extract data out of LinkedIn, just because you cannot easily get email addresses and email and names of the people who are following you out of the system, which is, of course, bad for us, but it's good for LinkedIn, because it means that you're not going anywhere. Once you start growing your followers on LinkedIn, you're not going anywhere because your people are there and you can take them with you. But it's also dangerous for you, because if LinkedIn decides to ban you, to block you, you've lost all of your followers. So, of course, some people try to do a backup of that. And you can do a backup in a smart way and in a automated way. And LinkedIn algorithm figures out that you're using automation, and if they detect that, they will punish you and they will block your account. So you can use these tools for automation, but very carefully. Read the instructions of the tool, and it will tell you, for example, things like, hey, do not extract more than X amount of accounts per day. So you will have, if you have like, I don't know, 100 people on your page, you will have to do it in a matter of several days. Because if you try to extract all 100, LinkedIn will just block you. Why are they doing this? Well, for obvious reasons. They do not want that data going anywhere, because that means that they will lose you. And they want you to be using their paid tool, the Sales Navigator, for that. So it's obvious why they're doing this, of course. So I mentioned that this is the one way to bring people out of LinkedIn, but there is also, I think, a smarter way in the long run. It will take more effort, but that's the one that will be sustainable. And that's connecting the LinkedIn presence that you have to the website that you have, which means that you will be driving traffic from LinkedIn to your website, where people will be signing up for your newsletter or in any way giving you their email address, and then they are yours. On LinkedIn, all of your followers belong to LinkedIn. On the website, all of your followers belong to you. So you, I don't want to say own, because that's going to sound bad, but you have access to their data that you can copy, you can extract. So if your website goes down, you still have that data. Unlike with LinkedIn, if they block you, you're done. You don't have anything. So that's what you should be doing. And always think of, okay, LinkedIn is not the goal in itself. LinkedIn is just one step in the process that eventually leads to you having your followers, your audience, your community moving towards the place where you want them to be. And for you, for now, that's your website. Or a group that you created somewhere. But once again, if it's on social media, careful, you don't own anything on social media. So ideally, having them give you the email addresses that you store in your database, that's great, because then you can send them newsletters, you can update them on your progress, and then, of course, you can invite them to a group that you have or to another social media that you have. But make sure that the website is the place where like all the roads lead to, because this is where you're going to be growing your user database. For that, of course, how do you do this? Yeah, how do you don't just scream, hey, people, my website is there, just go, right? You have to make them want to go there. And how do you do this? Here we have, of course, two main points. That's addictive content and visuals that attract attention. For the visuals, I already touched upon a bit. And just a little anecdote, when we were announcing our first Startup Villa party, we created this, one of our designers created in Canva this bright design with the robots on it, everything very, very pretty looking. And then one of the guys who was, who's helping us a lot, who is the moderator in one of the groups where we posted stuff, he's like, guys, what are you doing? Yeah, robots are all fine and dandy, but just show the freaking photo of your villa. More people are gonna sign up. And immediately, as soon as we did that, just a photo of the villa, we had like, 50, 60 people sign up immediately. So yeah, this is a bit of a lesson, right? You can spend a lot of time creating wonderful visuals and animation, or you can just put a photo from your real life, and that might attract more attention. So that's, yeah, human nature. Yes, Tatiana?
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. It was very, very interesting, especially for me who is far away from LinkedIn, like plus minus. I have actually a lot of questions for you, part from LinkedIn and part from other social media in general, but I think they would be quite applicable as well. So I wanted to ask if people can also, like you were showing your statistics and stuff, I wanted to ask, like if I go on your profile, can I also see how your statistics, how many people visit? So that's all yours, internal.
No, it says right there on the profile that is private to me. That's why I wanted to show it from the inside so you can see what it looks inside, because surprise, surprise, people like to hide these things. Like, I don't care. I'm not someone who is making money on gaining more and more followers on LinkedIn, but I am there to grow the network. And what works for me, of course, is consistency. It's not the amount of posts that create a lot of drama, but it's the fact that my posts consistently get into the feed of people in my network, which means that after half a year, after a year, they eventually will like write to me or to Sasha and say, hey, we've been watching you for a while. That's the phrase that Sasha and me get a lot. We've been watching you for a while. We like what you're doing. Let's set up a meeting. So that's what people will do. They will, like business stalk you. They will look at you. They will see what you're talking about, what you're writing, like without engaging with you for a long time. Then eventually they might, okay, it's probably time to talk business. And that happens all the time.
Cool. Okay, another question I had is that in real life and with all the people, and if I want to set up anything or any social media account, I would like to keep the name Tanya, which is like my friend's name, but then my official name is different name, like we have. So I wonder, is it a big deal? Like, or can I have my, for example, LinkedIn under official name, which will maybe confuse the English speaking people who are like, oh, what is this? How is this connected or no?
No, it's fine. I don't think they will care. I mean, I don't think LinkedIn will care whether you're Tanya or Tatiana. What LinkedIn will worry about is that if you were Tanya and then you became, changed your name to a completely different one, then then they might ask you for proof of identity. Because, of course, on one hand, they're probably worried that someone hacked your account. So they want to make sure that, that didn't happen. And on the other hand, like I say, for some reason, they're still very, very keen on having people use their real names, which Twitter, for example, doesn't care, right? So LinkedIn has that policy that you have to use your real name. It doesn't necessarily have to be written like it is in the password, but at least, resembling your real name and the real photo.
Okay, all right. And I also wanted to ask, you said that it's best to create this Instagram and like all the social media on the person rather than on a company, right? So I need to be me, and then in my about, right, I can say that I'm doing that and can mention the thing. And do I need to then create another LinkedIn for the thing, for the app or for the company, like two LinkedIns?
Yes. You need to do both. Yeah, absolutely. And probably you were not here in the beginning when I was mentioning that I'm going to be talking about creating the personal one, and then Sasha will take over and talk about the company one. That especially on LinkedIn, you need to have your personal one as the primary one, and then you need to be leading people to the company account, because LinkedIn doesn't promote company accounts. So you always need to kind of, interact, making sure that you make posts on your personal account, and then maybe in the end of the post you put a link. By the way, and you send them to your business account. Or the opposite, you create a piece of content, you publish it on your business account, and you reshare it to your personal account. Bear in mind that will mean that your posts will still not be shown to a lot of people. Like I said, LinkedIn is very not interested in promoting business accounts at all. Doesn't want to do this. Doesn't show it to a lot of people. But at least it's a way for you to put it out there still.
But should you have a business account then? I mean, is it really worth the effort?
You have to, because then no one's going to take you seriously. Like if you don't have a business account on LinkedIn, do you really exist as a company?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Can I ask you?
You don't have to put a lot of effort into growing it, but at least like update it so that when people start Googling you, you need to make sure that your company's LinkedIn account pops up. So then they will go to that, and if they see that it's completely dead, they will be like, okay, is she really doing anything?
And the same with Twitter. Sorry, Tatiana. Same with Twitter.
Same with Twitter. Yes, exactly. We haven't been on Twitter that long, but it kind of feels like, yes, it's pretty much the same strategy that you
And even
have to.
Instagram?
Instagram, I'm not sure. We are, so the gamipreneurship one, the Instagram, that is classified as a business account. I also have a personal account on Instagram, and I haven't noticed any difference in the algorithm, in the way Instagram treats it.
Yeah, but do you need to have your personal account linked on the business one, or like you can make because that was my question also on Instagram, to like the Instagram Tanya blah blah, and then I'm talking about other things that I do, right?
Well, it's the same principle that people do not like talking to companies; they like talking to other people. So if on your company account you will put just the logo, people will probably start wondering, okay, who's behind that? So it's of course good if you connect it. If it's important, let's put it this way: if it's important for your business, for your users to know who you are, then you need to connect those accounts. If you don't care, if you're just creating an app and you really don't want your personal life to be seen by the others, you don't do this. Then you stay behind your company. But once again, what people usually do, and I'm doing that a bit as well. So I'm learning from other people on Instagram, right? Basically, this is how you do. So there's one woman that I like. She's doing financial education. So she has, of course, the personal accounts where she shows her life, but she also has the business one. And the fact that they exist together helps her get this attachment from the people that she wouldn't have had if she only had a business account. Because on the personal one, she would show some fuck ups from her life. She would show the kids, she would show the travels, and you kind of start relating to that person because you feel like you know them, right? And you are more inclined to be buying from them just because you know that they're a real person. They're not just an Instagram account. So yes, I know that this answer might not be good for you because it's double the work, and for Karen, that seems to be my answer to everything she asks these days.
Okay, and for example, for now, the way I'm imagining my business or whatever is as of right now within the frame of this female switch, right? Is to make an app. Do I call it a business? Is an app a business? I'm asking myself these questions. So maximum, I would want an app and some personal page about me and maybe some add-on like video course on something else. That's the max that I'm imagining right now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, an app is not a business. An app is a product of the business that you're going to create on top of that. So a business needs a business model, right? The way you're going to make money and all these things. So, of course, for now, I would not advise you to create a business account if you're just exploring what it is that you want to do. Create a personal one, but once again, show the journey that you're going through. Explain also in the head of the account, in a couple of words, who you are and what you're going to be talking about in this account so that people understand. And then you should find an ideal mix between business content and personal content and see, once again, use the statistics to see what people react to more and do more of what does well, if you know what I mean.
Perfect.
I think Maria wants to ask something.
Yes, I have a question related to LinkedIn. Maybe you can elaborate on that a bit. As means of building a team, as far as I understand, it's vitally important to have a team in the startup, and maybe not a team of extremely experienced people with 20, 30 years experience in the field, but still a team of some specialists. So can LinkedIn be used to approach other people? How do you do that with the same algorithm as of follow them, engage with them, or you can just write to them?
Yeah, here it's not about the algorithm, it's about you doing all the work yourself. So being active and proactive. It works on every social media. If you want to get to know more people, like in real life, if you sit inside the house and have the lights off, no one's going to show up and ask if you're home. You have to, get dressed, get out of the house, and start meeting people. It's the same here. And of course, like if you want to have fun, you would go to a club. If you want to buy food, you would go to a supermarket, right? It's the same on social media. If you want to meet a specific kind of people that are interested in a specific topic, you're gonna start looking for them. So you might start with certain groups. So if you are into, I don't know, startups, there are plenty of groups about startups on LinkedIn. So you can start hanging out there a bit. But groups on LinkedIn are dead. They're not the same as at Facebook. Facebook groups are alive and there's interaction there. LinkedIn groups are, I don't know, in most cases dead. But what that gives you, of course, is access to the people who are in that group. So you can look at the list and you can start maybe, following or connecting with those people. So at least you know that they are also interested in the same topic as you are interested in. Something that I was telling to Sarangi, I think this morning when we had a meeting, was like, how do you get started if you have 0 people on your social media, right? This is the hardest part. And of course, you start with people that you know from real life. So for example, for me, I started with people who I met in the incubator. So like 10, 15 of the fellow startup founders, then the same like 15, 20 mentors and experts. So it immediately gives you access to, I don't know, 50 people, right? So then you start getting their posts in your feed. And then you start seeing what people are interacting with those posts, and you start engaging and following the people who know the people that you know. So it's the second layer of connections, right? This is how you expand the network. It's a lot better on LinkedIn to connect to someone who you already have connections with. So LinkedIn shows this. So for example, like Sarangi became a friend with me today, and then if someone comes that Sarangi knows and wants to be friends with me, LinkedIn is going to show me that we have one connection in common. And that I might be already more willing to accept that person because I think, well, if they know Sarangi, maybe they're an okay person, a good person to have in my network, right? So that immediately increases your chances of getting accepted. And of course, the more people you have in common, the easier it is for you to get into the network of the next person.
And how fruitful is it to approach? Well, for instance, you're searching for an IT person to take up all the IT stuff you're engaged with. For instance, just an example. So you approach people just like that on LinkedIn? Like,
yeah, you go through the search, and in the search you can let me see how. Well, probably on the phone, not on the desktop. I can see it. Or maybe Sasha will say you can filter people by location and by, I think, either industry, or you can even put the like IT there. So it will.
Yeah, you can use search filters, and the buyer persona will help you in this actually, because the better you know your target audience, the easier you will find them on LinkedIn. For example, you go to search. I can share actually my screen to show you how it's.
Yeah, well,
working.
Maria wants to look for team members here. We did this when we were looking for the designers. I specifically used LinkedIn to look for them. So I would put in the UX UI designer, and I would put location that I'm interested in. So a few countries that I wanted people to come from, and then you just connect to them. And once you start doing this, LinkedIn reacts to this. LinkedIn is like, she's interested in UX UI designers from that region. I'm gonna give her more. And then it would suggest, okay, there are more people. And then you will be flooded with people with UX designers from that region, because LinkedIn was like, I have more, here, choose. So that's absolutely possible. LinkedIn is a great tool for looking for people to work with. Of course, more traditionally for hiring people, but I'm pretty sure you can also look for co-founders there. Just look for people with the interest in entrepreneurship, and then you might, meet people. So that's actually how I met Timo, so our COO. we met on LinkedIn. Somehow, I don't know how his post about looking for a job got in my feed. We were not friends. I didn't know him, because probably someone from the network, from my network, liked it or reshared it, and got it into my feed, and that's how I met Timo. So LinkedIn works.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Sasha, you wanted to show something, and then I see that Karen wants to ask something.
Yes. So, for example, if you know that you are your audience is I don't know. For example, for our project, one of our projects is design engineers. So you just type design engineer, and this is usually stated in the user's profiles who they are. So you will see all the design engineers, and you can connect them using just a request, or add a personal note like, hello, we're doing this, probably you could be interested in my content. Or, for example, these design engineers probably use some software like Autodesk Inventor. So it will show, it is showed in their skills. So you can also see all those people.
For example, when I'm seeing the statistics of how people find me, I see the keywords, and the keywords for me are usually a founder, entrepreneur, CEO. So these are the typical words that people use to find me. So think of those words yourself. What you put in your profile is how people are gonna look for you.
Okay,
So
thank you.
probably, Maria, yeah, if you start looking for IT developers, or try to put a specific language that you want to be using, like, I don't know, or front-end, back-end developer, you will end up with a few. And like I said, if you start connecting to them, LinkedIn will start proposing more and more of those people to you until you say, hey, stop, I've had enough. But also careful, do not do too much of connecting on LinkedIn, just like on any other social media. There is a certain limit. If LinkedIn thinks that you are, too active, it's going to tell you, cool down, tiger, go away from the screen, do something else. It's not going to punish you, just going to tell you, hey, you've had enough, you've been too active, you can continue tomorrow. So it's basically blocking you from adding more people. LinkedIn does the same. Instagram does the same. So that's their way of probably fighting with bots. So,
Okay. Thank you.
Karen?
I sort of actually answered my own question. My customers are on LinkedIn, but Twitter is also important for me because the journalists are mostly on Twitter, so they're big influencers. But my users are on Facebook.
You're not gonna like my answer.
So I wanted to know if I can cut one, but I can't.
Well, eventually, if you're gonna be doing everything yourself, you will have to cut one, because you will spread so thin that nothing will bring any result. So, for example, we started. So for CutChain, for example, we are only doing LinkedIn. We have Instagram for it, but we don't do anything because we realize that no one cares about Instagram for that. So for CutChain, we are primarily using LinkedIn. For Female Switch, we started with LinkedIn, not necessarily because it was the best platform, but because we were already so active on LinkedIn, and it was easier to engage people with a story of, hey, we're the ones building CutChain. We've had so much experience. Now we decided that we want to build a startup game to show to use all their experience and teach others. So follow our new page. So that made a good story, and that's why we kind of grew to 600 people on LinkedIn for Female Switch without doing much. Something that I also wanted to show, and I forgot. Well, maybe Sasha will show it later. Yeah, because it's about the business page. How to add people. You have 250 limit per month to add people to your page, to invite people to your page manually. Sasha will show it later. Yes, Sarandi?
Yeah, so I have a question. Like, for example, in my case, I would mostly use LinkedIn to get investors. So what exactly is it that investors look for when they look at your LinkedIn page?
If you're gonna bring them money, to be honest, that's the only thing they care about.
Mhm.
Um,
How do we show that?
you show this by earning credibility, by showing up, by producing good content, by behaving in a professional manner,
Mhm.
and that's basically it. So it's never just one social media strategy that works for you. It's always a combination of different things. So like your website, your social media, maybe some PR that you managed to get for free from the journalists, like Karen was saying on Twitter. And then, for example, for Cut-Chain, that switch happened when we were in one of the incubators. And somehow after that, there were like 2 or 3 investors writing to me on LinkedIn wanting to meet us. So it's not necessarily what you do on LinkedIn, it's what you do in general. So the more you put yourself out there, that's why I said to you, right? If you have an opportunity to join incubators, the free ones, the online ones, do that, but make sure you also talk about that, right? Make sure that LinkedIn, you are announcing that, you're showing your journey, you're connecting to the people from that incubator, you're connecting to the alumni of that incubator. You're basically growing your network and your presence and showing that you are, working on that you are showing up every day as a good founder, building something and climbing up that ladder all the time. Investors are like any other people, like any other potential partners. They will be, stalking you. They will be watching you until eventually, when they think that you might be ready or interesting for them, they might approach you. So there's no one thing that you can do. You basically do the best at building your company and be proactive with engaging with right people. And by the right people, I mean people who are interesting for you from the point of view of what it is that you're doing, and from the point of view of startup ecosystems, so incubators, some government facilities, maybe all these things. So growing your network. And you can be proactive with reaching out to investors, but usually they're so how can I say this in a nice way? So busy that they will not respond.
So cold mailing wouldn't work in that case.
Yeah, once again, cold. Most people say that cold emailing investors doesn't work. My advice would be, once again, what incubators do is they do this what do you call it, investor meetings or whatever. So they invite some investors to the incubator to basically talk to the dumb startups like us, right, who don't know in the beginning how to talk to investors, and they this is a warm way for you to talk to investor and ask her or him questions. So this is the best thing. And once again, this is through incubators. They do this a lot. So what it will give you is you will start learning how to talk to investors. They will not invest in you. Those that come to the incubators, they're not there to invest. They're there to do something good to help to educate a bit. So they're not specifically there to invest into you. So don't go there with the hope of getting money from them. What you will gain is a lot of experience on how to talk to them, what kind of questions they ask, how to get feedback from them, how to take negative feedback that you get and turn it into something positive. And then with that experience, you will, once again, when the time is right, you will know how to speak to people. I don't know if that answered your question. Probably not. And
yes.
I'm not sure I answered Karen's question in a way that you wanted, but
No, you did.
to reiterate, try everything, but stick to 1 or 2 in the end, because you will not be able to do everything unless you hire specialists who you can completely outsource that to. But in the beginning, it's impossible, because you are basically, as a founder, you're the only one or one of the few that knows everything about what you're doing, and you have your vision that you haven't even expressed to others, so they don't know a lot to be able to convey that to you, to the audience. So in the beginning, test, but stick to and see what works for you. So for female switch, I think Instagram is working best now. We kind of stopped a bit with LinkedIn, and I don't have time for Twitter, even though Twitter is fine as well. I kind of think that Instagram works well just because we also show our personal life there, and yeah, people like that. People like seeing the behind the scenes as well.
Yes.
Tatiana?
Yes, thank you. I wanted to ask, like, what is the difference between accelerator and incubator, and who are you? Like, female switch, who are you in all of this?
Yeah, we are neither, because I don't think that we can fit into only one category. The difference between incubator and accelerator, yeah, there are different definitions. The idea is that one incubates, so basically you come as an egg and you come out as a little bird, so you hatch, which means that it's for very, very early stages. So it's a very beginning. You can go to incubators with just an idea in many cases.
Mm-hmm.
The accelerator, as the word shows, is there to accelerate your growth. So accelerator is more for the stages beyond idea. So when you already have a product and maybe some users, but you don't know, what to do next. So that's the idea. We ideally want to become all of that. We want to become the pre-incubator a bit, in the sense that, so what we're doing a lot with women is that telling them, come on, startup life is not scary. Look, just try it. So this is the sandbox. Just play in it. There's nothing scary. We are here, protecting you from the outside world. Look at it, see how you feel. Like, even the boys are out. No one's gonna hurt you. Just test and see how you feel about this. So a bit of this, very pre-incubator stage. At the same time, we're also talking to governments, to investors who want to potentially help those that form the companies while playing in the game, so that they can get initial funding. So that's already a bit of the incubation stage. Eventually, acceleration would be something that we would love to do as well, not at this moment. But on top of that, we're doing so many other things that like education, like Skill Lab, right? So it's hard to put us into one category. So that's why we invented that word gamipreneurship, just because, we don't know what we are yet. We're still growing, and to kind of, you as users are helping us shape that vision, and we're going to be going wherever we together with the users are taking us, right?
Thank you.
It's already
Super interesting.
Sasha, let's quickly go through the business part.
Yeah.
It's not as much there as in the personal one, just a few things.
So the business profile is a little bit different from your personal, but it's very much connected to it. So first of all, when you started your personal page, you create a business page as well, and start promoting it in a different way. But you will be able to invite the followers at the first time and on from. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So you have 250 connections you can invite from your friends, from your followers.
Yeah. So which means that if in order to grow your business page, you have to grow your personal page.
Yes.
But this is going to be the main source of followers for you. And the funniest part that's happening now is that on the page of Female Switch, we still have 250 credits available, because I'm kind of feeling that I'm out of women on my personal profile, because I already invited every single woman that I could. So which means I can't even use those credits anymore, because I'm out of followers that I needed.
But there are basically 3 ways to drive followers to your business page. So the first one is following credits. So for example, you can use mass following by adding followers, adding friends from searching, and then invite them to your page. The second one is organic, is participating in your industry discussions, or maybe in some popular posts of the followers from your industry, from your area. And you can also join discussions of other influencers, and you can tag your company actually. For example, let's go, for example, some posts. Yeah. So you can write something and tag your company here. Like, we are doing this, this, and this, and this, and this is can be useful for your case, for example. Then what you should start probably when making your page is to write a good description, because the investors and other people who might want your product will be searching and the keywords. Try to think the keywords are the most important for finding you. So when you write your description, try to use the most popular keywords that people will find you at. Then you will have the first post, the first update on your page will be pinned. This is the first post that everyone will see visiting your page. So it can be a promo video, or like a basic information about your company, or maybe the most popular update. And also you will have a good statistics. You will also have an activity. Try to answer all the activity. If somebody tags you or mentions you, and participate in those discussions if they mentioned you. So analytics, you can see the visitors. You can see the how popular your updates were using different time frame, and see what works best for your company, for your popularity, and use these popular posts, similar posts in your content marketing. And you will see how fast your followers are growing. And yeah, the leads and competitors. And you can also add description of your product, but I don't actually see much that it's used by someone. Yeah, and content marketing for company page is a little bit different. So you should usually create a content that shows that you are an expert in your area. So this should be very useful post for your followers, and add sometimes some posts like about your team, or about your achievements and how you're building something, because the category of building in public is very popular, by the way. That's people like to see story, how your company is developing. So don't hesitate to share your successes and fuck-ups. This is okay, to show your journey, because people like watching the lives of the others. And think you can add different types of content. Those are mainly like photos, videos, polls to drive your followers into discussions, and articles. Articles are quite often shared by people, so don't forget to use kind of blogging. And if you have a website, it's better to post the link to your blog article on LinkedIn, so it will drive traffic to your website. So I think this is basically it.